So one of my clients is doing great with a new act behavior that will become a habit. It's on its way. However, in looking at it and a few things that she would hope would be a little bit more solidified and, quote, in her words, better, we could tweak it. And we have. And it was that it wasn't supporting the repetition as best as it can. And this is what I want to talk to you about. How do you support that consistency, that repetition, not just willpower, not just reminding yourself? Reminders are activators. Okay. How do you support that? Two things: the consistency, keep doing it consistently. And if you fall off the track, falling off once is not failure. Falling off twice because you're giving up, that's failure. Failure in the process, not failure of you. Okay. That is not failure. You are not a failure. The process is failing. And that's where we get to the second one, the context. This is key. And many people find it hard at first when they hear about it, but once they implement it and we find how you can implement it, they realize and they feel like, and they tell me, yeah, it feels so much better and it is helping. And they didn't think it was possible. What am I talking about? I'm Ronnie Lowe, life coach. I'm Ronnie Lowe, habit coach. The context is how you support the repetition. It's your environmental support, your surroundings. That can be anything from your cubicle at work, how you set up your office or work area at home, or how you set up whatever it is that you use for whatever it is your goal is. Is your car set up in such a way? Is your schedule set up in such a way? Although that's broad. Your family support, your peer support, your colleague support. Are you feeling good? Are you hydrated? Are you feeling healthy? Have you had enough sleep? Everything that will support it. But most importantly is when we get down to the detail of this action or the act that will become a habit, we have to know the exact elements: time, location, context. Okay. So, what people find hard at first is, I don't know if I can do it at the same time. Can it just be that I'll do it every day? Well, can you? Will you? And that's what we experiment with. Will you do it no matter what sometime that day? And people think, yeah, I'll get it done. I'll get it done. The context always shows that when you can, and more often we pick an action that you can do at the same time, same location, in the same surroundings, more often than not. But if you have to do it in a way that, well, I'm not sure, it usually weakens. And I'm talking from experience. It can work, but it depends. Okay. Some people will make it happen no matter what. I will not go to bed without doing this. However, the ones that do pick a same time, same location, we have a backup plan. If fill in the blank, then fill in the blank. If this happens, if all of a sudden I have a doctor's appointment, or my boss calls me into his office, or I am the boss and I have to do this, if something happens, then you already declare it when you make the initial declaration and decision of the time and location and what you need to support you, your information, your resources, whatever it is. Okay. So we do look at the if then. Okay. We have a plan B, plan A, plan B, and I often have a plan C with my clients, is what I'm saying. So for consistency, you're safest that even when you don't feel like doing something, or you want to just turn off that alarm and keep doing what you're doing, or you want to get on that social media and you don't want to get off even though that was your goal, if you have something that you know, okay, this will only take a minute, this will only take 5 minutes, and then I can go ahead and reward myself with that social media or whatever it is that's tempting you, then go ahead. So let's reiterate. This one client, she was doing great in that she was texting me on Voxer every day. I did 12 minutes. I did 8 minutes. I did this, or I did a whole load of laundry. Her thing is decluttering. She really wants to declutter. But more than that, we whittle it down, not just declutter, not just to have an organized home. That's very general. Exactly what do you mean by declutter? One man's declutter is another woman's not cluttered, or whatever, cluttered. You know what I mean? It's like you define what you really want. Paint the picture. How would you like it and what's doable? So her definition is, it shows her, and she finally got this and realized this in being coached, is she wants it so that when people walk in, one, she's not embarrassed. Two, when there are things around, it's because that's who they are, their personality. She wants to walk in, like she wants to have people walk in. And even if, I said, if it was a social anthropologist, what would you want them to think or deduce from just looking at the place without even knowing you? And she said, like our personality, she started naming them, like we're gamers, we're into Star Trek, we're into sci-fi, we have a kid, and we like certain things. I want them to know my personality and my husband's and my child's. And I'm like, okay, that's for her decluttered without mess, too much mess, and for it to be clean and hygienic. But it's okay to have like a puzzle out that she's working on. It's okay if the kids' stuff is on the floor, just not all over the place. So we started whittling down the details. Okay. But that's okay to have things around. One person's declutter is not another person's clutter. See what I mean? So you have to define what feels good for you and what will be that. Not as an excuse, like, I'm okay with the dishes in the sink, because that's an excuse. What do you really want? Okay. She wants help to declutter, but she also felt like she had to live up to other people's standards. Okay. So with her, her new action was 5 minutes a day. And I think if you've watched the other videos, you think, well, five's the thing. No, it just happens to be hers and some other people's. Other people's 10 minutes a day. Other people, like a Peloton. Somebody decided to row or do Peloton 10 minutes a day immediately upon closing that laptop at the end of the workday, because she works at home and her Peloton is right there. So is the rowing machine in this office kind of gym she has. No matter what, she closed the laptop before going into the house, because it's outside in a little granny cottage, whatever you call them. She would do 10 minutes. If it goes beyond that, great, but 10 minutes. Okay. So for some people, it's different things. All right. So duration of time, it depends what you're doing and the minimal that you can do no matter what, if you don't feel like it. For her, it was 10 minutes, not five, because mentally, even if she were physically tired, as we can be at the end of the day, she's like, mentally, five will feel like nothing. So it's got to be 10. So for her, that no matter what, as lethargic as she felt, or she wanted to go eat or whatever, 10 minutes felt good and doable. And it had been, and it established. And now she's doing Orange Theory and some other things. It has grown, but she had to take it little by little by little by little. Her thing, back to the consistency, it was every day at the same time, same location, surrounded by the same thing she had. She had her rowing machine right there. She had her shoes right there. She had her Peloton. Okay. So back to the other client for the decluttering, what was starting to make things slip and slide all of a sudden. And she's like, oh no, but I want to do this. I want to do that. And I can do it then. And we worked it out that at night, after everything was done, after she got home from work and then she had some dinner, and then maybe her husband could have some downtime and the baby was falling asleep, and then she could go ahead and declutter. What if she felt tired, or she just felt like it was such a chore, and sometimes it would just not go done? She was starting to slide, and then sometimes she would do in the morning, sometimes if she worked at home it would be in the afternoon, and so it wasn't the same time, exact same thing. Okay. So what we found is, what can you do that no matter what, it's not impeding with everything else she needed to get done? We found it. It happened to be in the morning. She at first thought it would be at night, but no, she was getting tired. So in the morning, she doesn't want to spend too much time because she has things she has to get done before she leaves. One of them is her mom or dad come over to take care of the baby. So there's that transition time, and people always think something will take less time than it will. So the transition is like, oh, that just takes a minute. When she really looked at it, we really talked about it. It's like, we start talking and then this and that, and it takes 10 minutes to transition. We start talking what's going on or something. How much transition does it really take between her and her husband? What if her kid calls her and calls her out of that time? Like all of a sudden the baby's crying or whatever. So you have to leave those pads of time. We always think I can get these five things done in half an hour. And then it expands to an hour and something took longer than you expected. So we had to really look at that. What can you do if other things happen? The if then. So what she can do every day, and it's been working out for the past week, yay, after she had started sliding, is she no matter what, wanted to do her 8-minute Pilates. She just will not abandon that because she finally got that down. Great. So if she can't work out later or run later, at least she did her Pilates and it makes her feel good and it sets herself up for that day. So connected to that Pilates, 5-minute declutter, 5-minute declutter before she has to take care Now, she decided to get up a little earlier, but in order to do that, she really has to go to bed a little earlier. She was staying up till 12 or 1, scrolling, because that's what you do mindlessly. So it's been working. She reminds herself at night. Her husband reminds herself, you want to have the time in the morning. She only gets, because I'm like, I don't want you to get up that early. I want you to fit it in. So let's look what you can fit in. If she had gotten up 15 minutes earlier, she could do all that. But I'm like, nah, what can you do that you don't have to get up earlier? So now she's finding she doesn't have to get up earlier, which also is a mindset thing. It's like, no, I don't have to sacrifice and get up earlier. So she has been chaining it to just 5 minutes declutter. Her husband's still there. And even if her mom or dad walk in, which they have not so far, it's okay because she already told them, I just got to finish decluttering. So they won't, I don't want to say bother her, they won't distract her or engage her. Okay. So far, so good. 5 minutes. She worked on something and she's finding it amazing how much laundry she could fold or what she can organize in her bathroom, what she can do in the kitchen in 5 minutes. You think it'll take that much longer, but she stops. Stop, dead stop. That's what she decided. Dead stop. She's amazed at how much she can do in those 5 minutes. Dead stop. Because if she goes further than that, she'll find like, oh, now this is taking too much time and this happened. This is the consequence. So let's just start that 5 minutes. And it's already giving her ideas on how to run a habit tracker for herself. And she posted something up. She's going to put a sticker every day. She's starting to feel really good about celebrating it. And she has an if then. If something happens, so the baby gets sick and she really doesn't get to the 5 minutes declutter, then she knows that 5 minutes minimum she can take care of in the evening, no more, because she knows it's only 5 minutes. And she has expanded that to, and the bigger stuff that I know will take a longer time, I'm going to do on the weekends. And this is getting her to already feeling good about the area that she has opened up in the living room so she can do Pilates and so the baby can be there. It's really started working. She's getting her home to what she considers organized and decluttered and showing her personality and definitely clean. See, it's working. So the moral of the story is it's important to have it, to look at how you can do something at the same time for whatever action that will be, same location, and then be flexible with a backup plan. Know your backup plan and have everything that you need for that backup plan. Like, let's say you didn't get to go for that walk in the middle of the day. You have your shoes in your car and you can still go for the walk before you go home. It's just an idea. Or you can still go to the gym, even if it's only for half the time, if that's the backup plan. We always find a backup plan. If they didn't have this at the store and you went shopping for healthier food, what is your backup plan? We always have a backup plan at if and then for the time, the location, the context. I can go more in detail with your particular issue or desire or goal when you share. So I invite you to share, and then we can really look at it because I'm going in generalities, even though I'm giving you an example of real people. Okay, I'm Ronnie Lowe, life coach, Ronnie Lowe, habit coach. I invite you to watch the next video because I like to share from the heart why I got involved with Beautifully You. And I think some things will resonate with you because we're all human. And I just want to share a little bit of me and why I really love this site, this platform, this community. All right, be beautifully you, and I'll see you there. Yay. Okay.